The S&P 500 is up just about 9% year to date. The bulk of the trading volume these days seems to come from hedge funds, from high-frequency trading. We've been in search of volume here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and particularly participation by the retail investor. When will they return? Well, perhaps we've got some answers for you, because TD Ameritrade is the #1 discount broker by trading volume, and their CEO is here on the floor of the exchange with me, Fred Tomczyk. Welcome to InBusiness.
Well, nice to be with you.
And now this is the first day of trading here on the New York Stock Exchange. You moved over from the Nasdaq. It's typically more expensive to trade here. Why did you make the move?
Well, we've been, as I told Duncan this morning, we've been dating for a couple years. We've been working together on a number of files, whether it be market regulation, market structure, with all that's gone on the last 3 or 4 years. And so that's been a really good discussion about our views with the retail investor. And Duncan and his team have been very good at working through that with us and listening to us and sharing their perspectives. We also work with them on the options exchange. They invited us in, so that's been a good partnership. And more recently, we've been working with them more on the technology side. So we've been working with them so well and so many partners, we decided to, it was time to quit dating and get married and move our listings.
Well, when you look at the kind of business you're conducting right now, I know with your recent earnings, so much of what you earn in profit comes from trading revenue, from just the willingness of the investors to place trades, place bets. What are you seeing in terms of sentiment?
Well, we just did a sentiment survey that would basically, right now, would say that they are getting a little bit more bullish, but they still have still a large percentage are cautious. And we see that in our volumes, depending on how you break our customer base down. Like the RIAs have their customers back in the market. If you look at the active investor, they're trading.
Advisors.
They're registered independent advisors that are advising their clients and acting fiduciaries. They definitely have moved in and taken advantage of the uptick in the market for their clients. The active investor, has been in, but there's been no volatility, which means trading is not going to be as robust. But the long-term investor, which is a large number of the retail investors, are still very cautious. They're checking in, they're logging in, they're opening accounts. But you can see that in mutual fund flows and everything. It's still into bond funds and not equities, despite the run-up.
Is there a single event or single type of headline that you see is directly correlated to an uptick in the willingness of someone to place a trade?
Well, we haven't seen anything just yet, but the active investor will trade on volatility. So the VIX moving up a bit is helpful, but our view is it needs to get up above 22 to 23, and at that point, then that will start to attract the more active investors in. And for the long-term investors, they just need to see more conviction and see that this is real this time. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, and we can't seem to shake that uncertainty, and we got Europe flaring up this week.
Well, I was looking at a piece you put out breaking down by age group the bullishness and bearishness of investors right now. And it's interesting because the older you are, it seems like the more bullish you are. The young are not optimists. Why do you think this is?
And that was a surprise to me because normally your young are the optimists. But I think, if you look at the survey data, it's older and more active. And so the people that have been active in managing their investments and are a bit older, they've seen this before. The markets come back, and so they're just more experienced, and so they have a little bit more of a bullishness now that they see certain economic indicators in the United States starting to improve, whether it's unemployment, whether it's GDP. They're starting to see signs of it getting better. And while Europe, still has issues, I think the event that we would have had a while back with a big failure seems to have abated. The young investor, though, that if you've got unemployment,
right,
typically that's higher for the young people, and so they're probably feeling the effects of unemployment.
Before I let you, what is volume like this month? What are you saying?
Well, I got to be careful what I say, but when we talked on our earnings call, we said it was running around 370,000 trades a day so far in April. So that's down a bit from the previous month. So they're still pretty tepid right now.
All right, Fred, thank you so much for joining us here on the floor of the exchange. And you can see this is where ticker AMDTD is trading here today.